Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to our videos. We've been looking at the ZESCO electricity progressive tariffs. We looked at why investing in solar power now is a very good decision, especially in Zambia, part one. So we continue from where we ended and look at part two. So ZESCO, as we know by now, introduced the progressive tariffs. We've looked at this concept, we've looked at this phenomena where we've got the four bands. And if we take the first band as the base, we see that we've got progressive increase in the tariffs as you consume more units. Within band 2, 186% increase of the first band. Band 3, 591% increase of the first band, and band 4, which is 886% increase of the first band. We have also looked at the progressive nature of the cost of electricity. If we see in figure A per month, increasing from 100 units to about 1,100 units. We've also looked at the progressive costs, that is from 35 kwacha of 100 units to about 3,034 Zambian kwacha for 1,100 units. We've also looked at how this progresses for 12 months, that is a year, and also how much you'd spend when it comes to 60 months or 5 years. We've also looked at the key message when it comes to consumption of units. The more you consume, the higher the cost, with 100 and 200 units being cost optimal at the current tariffs. Of course, more than 200 units, but less than or equal to 400 units, that's a decision that one has got to make. Above 400 units, the key message has been invest in a solar PV power system. In the first part, we actually looked at why it is a very good decision, part one. We saw that the cost of electricity has increased. That is particularly in Zambia. With no investment in any PV solution, you have a huge cost over time, that is 5, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and 25 years. Investment in a solar PV power system gives you an opportunity to acquire wealth generating asset. So a solar PV power system basically is a wealth generating asset. We also saw that the investment of 5 years of your cost of electricity in a solar power systems actually enables you to have 20% return per year on your investment. So that gives a financial incentive for you to actually jump on the decision of investing in solar. So that investment actually becomes a potential to enable someone create wealth. So we look at the different outlook and how these will actually can help you generate wealth. So when we look at a payback in terms of investment, previously we saw that with an investment of 78,540, which are equivalent to 4,200 US dollars, one is able to actually acquire 9 solar panels, a 6.2 kilowatt hybrid inverter, and also 15 or 16 kilowatt lithium battery. That's if you were to buy these things through us. Of course, there would be price variation if you went to other vendors or bought these items locally within Zambia. So the cost of electricity was actually 1,309 per month. So once you invest in a solar PV system, what you actually do is you start to pay yourself back. So this assumption is that you've actually invested in a solar PV system. So when you start to pay yourself back, you who consumes 600 units per month, you have a return of about 8.33% per month, which translates to 20% per year. So in a situation where you are just paying back this amount, you are not investing this amount in any financial asset, in any financial instrument, then the payback would be 5 years, because this is equivalent to how much you would pay in 5 years at the current tariff rate if you don't have any investment. So you'd actually pay 78,540 Zambian kwacha to ZESCO. So in this case, after 5 years, this system would have paid back to you, assuming you haven't invested it in any asset, any instrument, but you are paying yourself back. Of course, if what you are paying yourself back, which is 1,309, if you were to invest this either in bonds, in unit trust, or any other guaranteed investment that gives you a return of 22% per year. So if we look at 22% per year, this is actually higher than what it pays you back if you have not invested in anything. So what this translates is that at 3 years, 5 months, 3.5 years, 3.5 years, which is 3 years, 6 months. 0.5 of a year is 6 months. You'd actually have a compounding effect of the 1,309 that you are investing in either a bond, a unit trust, or any other investment at 22% will actually translate into a return of 78,440 Zambian kwacha at 3 years, 6 months. So it changes the dynamics of things. When you are not investing, it takes you about 5 years, but when you invest at 22%, which is actually beating how much this pays back in terms of if you invest 5 years of how much you should have paid ZESCO. So this actually pays you back in 3 years, 6 months. So after 3 years, 6 months, this becomes profit to you. So you can actually continue to invest this in your preferred instrument, either bonds, unit trust, or any other investment. So which means this solar PV power system that you have invested in, converting your energy from the sun to what you can use, is actually giving you payments, yielding. It becomes an asset that actually pays. pays you back. So if we look at, this is how much you are getting back after this investment. And you are investing in an instrument, because we had assumed 22%, but it could be varying percentages. So if you consider 9.3%, 13%, 15%, 17.3%, 20%, of course, and 22.1%, you have got the amount of time that it takes to actually hit the investment you have done of 78,540 starts to reduce. So which means over a span of different investments, which could be anything, you have got the possibility to actually make this your asset, make this asset actually an investment vehicle that can create wealth. One thing that we can look at is, if we look at 14%, 18%, and 22%. Already we've seen that at 3 years, 10 months, you pay back everything if you have got an annual return of 14%. At 3 years, 7 months, it gives you it gives you a return on your investment if you have invested 18%. But if you were to continue to actually invest this amount for the next 20 years, assuming this is the rate that it will be, of course, practically, the rate will go high in terms of tariffs, because we are moving towards a cost-reflective system, so as to attract a lot of investment that is at transmission level, at utility scale solar systems. So the tariffs will continue to increase. So ideally, what we are saying is that after 20 years, at 14%, you can actually have a growth of your investment amounting to 1.7 million Zambian kwacha. At 18%, this would be 3 million Zambian kwacha after 20 years. And at 22%, this would be 5.5 million Zambian kwacha. Of course, we know that the different types of investments that would be there would actually vary. Let's say if we take the variation from 9% to about 30%, and allowing this amount to grow for 5 years, we see that at 9%, you would have 98,730 after 5 years, and this has got a potential to grow to 178,013 Zambian kwacha if your investment is paying back 30%. So on the right hand side, we see a projection of your growth in terms of your investment just for 5 years. If you have got an annual return of either 9% or any of the percentages up to 30%, it actually gives you that. That is 5%. It's actually starts to get interesting because the compounding effect would be there. If we look at the same annual return percentage from 9 to 30% over 10 years, you have got a potential to grow from 253,310 at 9% to 961,233 Zambian kwacha at 30%. So this also shows that if you allow what you are paying yourself back in an investment vehicle over a long period of time, with, of course, varying investment percentage, at 10 years, we see you have got potential between 253,000 to about 961,000 Zambian kwacha. If we go to 15 years, it's 495,333 Zambian kwacha, considering 9% to about 4.4 million Zambian kwacha. So the longer that you are prepared to hold this your payback, the more that this asset can actually give you growth of your investment. This is the 15 years. This is 20 years. 20 years has got the potential to give you 8.7 million Zambian kwacha at 9% per annum, or 19 million, 19.5 million Zambian kwacha. This is 20 years. It even gets interesting when we go to 25 years. It even gets interesting if you are to go to 30 years. So this is true for the investment part of it. Of course, other things would have to be factored in, especially if we look at longer years, like maintenance aspect, major maintenance. That is the replacement of the inverter and possibly replacement of the batteries or refurbishment. But of course, if you see you have the possibility to grow your return. Instead of paying the utility company, you are paying yourself and you invest this amount. So there is evidence that the longer you keep paying yourself and investing, this asset become a wealth generating asset, as we saw in the previous one. So in addition, we have got people that have got farms, lodges, of course, even high consumption households that require cost stability when it comes to energy and also longer term return opportunities. So this is the reason why such facilities, at the point where we have got a progressive tariff that has been introduced, it is a very good decision to invest in a solar system. When it comes to individuals, you can actually reduce your lifetime cost when it comes to bills, especially to do with the electricity bills at this time and also going into the future. It can help you maintain a cost stability. And also, as we have seen, if you are to invest what you are paying yourself back, then it becomes something that you can build and create wealth over time. When it comes to farms, we have what we call productive use of energy. So an investment into a solar system for your energy security, energy independence will actually protect your productivity, and it will actually boost your productivity because you do not have to rely on the utility power that we know in the past we have experienced load shedding. And now we are experiencing very good supply of electricity, but we have got a progressive tariff in place. So it will protect your productivity, give you an operational continuity, boost productivity, provide you energy security. But of course, since you not have your energy cost being paid to the utility company, but you pay yourself because you are actually generating your own energy that you use for various farm activities like pumping, maize sheller, groundnut shellers, hammer mills, all sort of machinery that you can actually use at the farm. So the risk that the cost of electricity will change is actually eliminated because you produce your own electricity. The risk that if load shedding was to come back, that would disrupt your operation. That is actually eliminated. When it comes to lodges who are in the hospitality industries, you see that you have improvement in the reliability, you have uptime, brand sustainability credentials. If it's a lodge, people will say, okay, if you go to lodge XYZ, they always have power. You don't have to worry that in the morning, if you have a meeting with your business partners from China, USA, or these other countries, you will not have disruption. When it comes to banks and financial institutions, you see that at this moment you have got bankable systems, not just utility. You also have bankable systems that can be either at individual level, household level, farm level, lodges, and other establishments. So this becomes financeable infrastructure, and they are backed with returns, predictable yield. As we have seen, you have at 600 units that we have predicted, someone will be able to pay themselves 1,309 Zambian kwacha per month. So banks and lending institutions can actually be able to give you financing for you to actually invest in your solar system. So the message to carry home is that it is a very good decision to actually invest in a solar power system, either for your house, for your farm, for your lodge. And this will definitely pay back. It can help you with your cash flows. It can help you to basically create wealth. So jump on it. Don't wait. Thank you very much. This has been your presenter, Dr. Enoch Mulenga. Until next time, bye for now.